And the shutdown also closing national parks and monuments for a fourth day. And today it got worse at the World War II Memorial. They added wires to reinforce the locked gates. But that is not stopping the World War II veterans, as we saw firsthand when we went to the memorial. We're outside the World War II Memorial in Washington, D.C. on the Mall, and to my left, all the way up the hill, is the United States Capitol. And behind me is the White House. But what is attracting our attention today is this memorial, and not because it's just one of the most spectacular memorials on the Mall, and it really is, but it's because it has a fence around it. It says the site is closed, do not enter, and this open-air mall has been closed down with the shutdown. Everybody's breaching this fence, and the rangers here will say that they can't stop you. People are essentially ignoring it. And these are your constituents?
They are from the Dallas-Fort Worth area, so we weren't going to miss the opportunity to welcome here to the nation's capital. And we have a group from Fort Worth coming next Tuesday. So this group is from the Dallas-Fort Worth area.
It's nice to see the monuments to all of you.
Well, the greeting that we got here was the most moving experience I've ever had.
It is pretty amazing. I'm sorry you can't see this monument today.
Oh, well, we're going to break that down.
They're not going to stop you.
No way. Nothing else did.
Where were you?
Europe.
What division?
82nd Airborne.
So what did you see over there?
I saw Hitler.
You saw Hitler?
Yeah.
You actually saw Hitler?
I actually saw Hitler, the last American to see him when he left over there.
No kidding. Tell me what it's like.
Well, he was driving by in his big Mercedes, I guess. There's three of them, and they had guards on top, and I was a prisoner over there. And
you were a prisoner?
Yeah, I just walking by though, and they'd sort of released us at the end of the war there, and I was free. And they come along in these cars and they stopped right there, and Hitler looked at me and I looked at him.
What do you make of this fence around the World War II Memorial with a sign that says closed?
What a bunch of stuff. You don't want me to say what I really think.
Go ahead. This is cable.
This is unconscionable. Unbelievable that they would pull this kind of crap on people like us.
How about proud of the fact that there's a fence around the World War II Memorial right now?
You know what? That's a slap in the face. I mean, I didn't go overseas, but I really feel sorry for these boys who all went overseas and saw the bad stuff.
Senator, a number of Texan veterans, most from World War II, are on the bus behind us. They want to see this memorial.
And they should see the memorial, and they are going to see the memorial. We had a large percentage of the Texas congressional delegation here today to welcome these World War II vets from Texas that are here to see their memorial, and it is a disgrace that the Obama administration has put up barricades and put up wire trying to keep the veterans out of this memorial. You know, just this morning, I spent nearly an hour on the floor of the Senate urging the Senate to pass legislation that the House of Representatives has already passed that would open every federal park, open every memorial in this country. And it's bipartisan legislation. It doesn't address any other aspect, doesn't address Obamacare. It just said, look, let's open our parks, let's open our memorials. There was also another bill the House passed to fund the VA, to fund our veterans. And unfortunately, Greta, Harry Reid, and the Democrats objected. They said no, they want to keep the parks closed, they want to keep the VA not funded, they want to not fund the National Guard. And I think that's cynical. I think it's wrong. I hope they back off that position because it's not reasonable.
Well, I should tell you, I boarded the bus, spoke to your Texas World War II vets, and when I asked them questions about locking up the memorial, they almost laughed because the idea that the government thinks that they can keep World War II veterans after all they've done out of a memorial, if they can do the cliffs at Normandy, they're not afraid of a few little barricades here at this memorial.
Well, and look, everyone understands the games, unfortunately, President Obama's playing. It's like back at sequestration when the Obama administration furloughed the air traffic controllers. And I think their view was if we can delay people's flights, it'll make them really mad at Republicans. And immediately people understood they were playing games. They're doing the same thing here. There have been stories about the federal government blockading the parking lot at Mount Vernon. Now, Mount Vernon is privately owned and operated. It's not even on the federal government, and yet they spent money to blockade the parking lots
Who makes that decision? I mean, I assume that I really don't believe the President of the United States said, let's block this off. I think somebody else way down the food chain did it, but somebody made it, and no one made the decision to pull it back until...
Look, President Obama's political operatives have decided throughout the government to implement this shutdown in a way that maximizes the pain for the American people.
But do you think...
For example, Senator John Thune described to me how Mount Rushmore, the federal government spent the money to go erect barricades on the roads leaving Mount Rushmore. The problem is they're state roads, they're not federal roads, so the governor ordered those roads taken down. Now, you don't do that unless you're trying to play games. I mean, right now, Greta, President Obama and Harry Reid think this shutdown benefits them politically, and they want to maximize the pain that is inflicted. I think that's wrong. I think it's cynical. We ought to work in a bipartisan way to focus on areas of agreement. There ought to be complete consensus, bipartisan agreement when it comes to veterans, that we should honor the commitments we made to our veterans. And I hope that they'll listen to reason and come around.